Now, the New York Civil Liberties Union is questioning whether the benefits of the cameras outweigh the erosion of privacy. But the police commissioner says that these cameras are not hidden, they are clearly labeled, and there is no expectation of privacy.
And I've had defense attorneys come up to me. Matter of fact, one on a motion to suppress just Tuesday come up to me and tell me his client was stupid. Okay? They're very straightforward. They do foolish things. They talk to the police. You guys need to be aware of that.
Is it the way of the future or just another fad? Seems some people are considering throwing away keys to the house and car in favor of a computer chip implanted in the wrist. A wave of the hand and the door opens right before their eyes. But as Jennifer Kirby reports, this apparent trend has its critics.
Keith Kennedy always hated fumbling with his keys. Now he only uses one thing for all the doors he needs to unlock.
Access granted.
It's an electronic chip implanted in his wrist.
Basically, it's just it's convenient. I'm a little bit more comfortable with having more security to my house, my car, and my business.
His business is a body-piercing shop, but his passion is this new chip. He worked with a computer expert to develop the software. The chips work like swipe cards. Electronic readers identify people by their codes. A system can cost up to $10,000.
Tonight, the great lengths people are going to implant radio frequency identification chips in their bodies.
28-year-old Mikey Sklar has a lot in common with his two cats. They both have something that sounds like it comes right out of the future. Tiny implants loaded with their personal information, chips surgically put into their bodies. They're called RFID tags, normally used to track things like shipping containers and marathon runners. For the cats, it's a device which keeps tabs on them if they get lost. For Sklar, well, he says it's to make life more convenient.
I want to use it as an identification system so I can get personal information to show up. So I can scan my hand and have information about my favorite websites and email address and weather all be displayed for me through some custom hardware projects I've been working on.
Sklar says he easily found his RFID tag on the internet, but finding someone to implant the device in his hand was a different story. That's because Sklar's RFID tag is not the type that's approved by the Food and Drug Administration. He had to convince a friend who's a surgeon to implant it.
I really didn't feel anything during the surgical procedure, which was about 7 minutes long on my kitchen table.
While Sklar's scar from the surgery heals, big retail chains like Walmart are using more of the tags, putting the low-power radio frequency IDs in shipments to track them. Outside the United States, they're actually being used by the Mexican government, implanted in officials needing high security clearance. In Spain, chipped VIPs at the Baja Beach Club can pay for drinks simply by waving their hands under a scanner. Sklar's tag? Bought off fidgetsusa.com, which actually advises its customers not to implant them. The company says they are not made for humans, pointing out its chips are not sanitized. All this has the only company to get FDA approval for its human implantable chips very concerned. VeriChip's devices store valuable medical information for chronically ill patients.
The VeriChip technology is extremely useful in being able to quickly link the patient's vital medical information and contact information to the staff that's taking care of that patient to provide them the most timely and most efficient care.
More and more hospitals are getting RFID readers in emergency rooms, and VeriChip's devices are doing so well, the company has just filed to go public. But here's a scary thought. All the uses for RFID tags are now bringing up questions about whether the information stored in them is really safe from hackers.
It is quite possible that this tag could be hacked. Anyone with a simple laptop setup and a RFID antenna at the correct frequencies can pick up my tag number. There are other tags that have more information on them that might be much more interesting, such as a Chase Blink card or a MasterCard PayPass.
VeriChip says its chips are safe and that the personal information on them cannot be read without a VeriChip reader. But experts say RFID technology is getting more advanced, and as it gains wider acceptance, more companies are expected to use and profit from it. And very soon, Mikey Sklar and his two cats might not seem like something right out of science fiction.
Now, in my past, and it wasn't exaggerated, I have interviewed thousands of people. I've arrested and dealt with over 1,000 felonies, well, actually more than 1,000 felonies, probably about 20, or no, about 1,000 felonies, 2,500 misdemeanors, 98% of them conviction rate, 80% of them I don't even have to go to court. Why? Because there's confessions. Because they confess. So these people have no problem. The hardened criminals have no problem talking to the police. People like to tell their story. And they'll sit in that room and think about it. You're picked up by the police. You're in a little room. There's one chair here. There's a desk. There's another chair. What's the thing you want the most right at that point? To get out of that room. To be out of that room. Think the police officer's shift is ending in 15 minutes. Does a police officer want to get out of that room? My overtime rate's $58 an hour. Do I want to get out of that room? I have no problem. I'll stay there for 10 hours. I'll take that $600.
By now, most people understand that talking on a cell phone is not secure, but this is going to shock you. A third party can listen in on your conversations, read your text messages, even pinpoint your location. And you'd never know. Here's how. These people are having a phone conversation.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
One in East L.A., the other in West L.A. But on this third phone, miles away in another part of town, someone is eavesdropping on the conversation.
So how was last night?
Great.
You cannot tell at all that you are being spied upon.
Easy-to-use software is now being peddled all over the internet, allowing literally anyone to tap into other people's cell phones and listen to their private conversations. It's pitched as a way to catch a cheating spouse, keep tabs on an employee, or even protect a child. And marketers promise invisible access that's impossible to trace.
It's actually real, that people can spy on cell phones.
Kelly's a publicist and tells us she was shocked to discover someone was secretly listening to her phone conversation, compromising not only her business and clients, but her private life as well.
I was very upset. I mean, I feel like that's an invasion of privacy.
The key to snooping on somebody like this is getting access to their cell phone for 10 to 20 minutes. That's how much time is needed to cable the phone to a computer and download the software. That programs the phone to connect to a third party. Eric Roby is an analyst with a high-tech firm called Federal Forensics Group, and he told us how easy and powerful this spy software is.
This is the interface to the spy technology. And all I need to do is check these boxes, hit start capture, and it starts spying.
I would love to go there sometime.
Absolutely.
The software can be set up to access anything and everything coming from the phone, including emails and text messages. And while the spy is getting everything you're saying, he can also map everywhere you're going. Brian LaRock also works for Federal Forensics Group.
If I have installed this software on your cell phone, I can tell where you are at any time, and if I want to, I can even follow you wherever you're going.
Worst part? The compromised cell phone's microphone can be used as a bug, recording surrounding conversations even when the person is not on the phone.
There's information that people can get and utilize to their advantage, and it's not okay.
It's kind of like having your own personal surveillance team.
So how can people protect themselves? For starters, try to keep your phone near you at all times. Even better, find out how you can password protect your entire phone, not just your voicemail.
We live with other people. The password is really the best way to go to protect your phone.
Cell phone spy software can be found online from anywhere from $80 to $800. If you think your phone's been compromised, take it to an expert who can check it out.
You go in there with your paperwork, you sit down, you just start doing paperwork. And usually I have a videotape sitting on top of it, just for measure, so they think I have a videotape. And you just sit there. Don't tell them Miranda. Just sit there and wait for them to start talking, because they will.